What's up, everybody? This is Luke, JohnnyMedia, and Brienne from Noble Photo LLC. And you're probably asking yourself, who in the world is JohnnyMedia and is Luke an angel? Because he's got a halo over his head. It's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. So the first two podcasts that we've done, the first podcast, I was pretty much kind of nervous, like, hey, this is the Noble Photo.
We've already lost John.
LLC podcast. And the second one, I was still trying to be cool. But this one, I've had too much coffee. I'm feeling crazy. And let's go. Who do we have with us today, Brienne?
Well, I think you've already introduced him like 3 times already.
Just get over yourself. Everybody's concerned about my ring light. Looks like a halo. So go over it. Just introduce the fantastic Johnny that is Johnny Haggard, JohnnyMedia. Go for it.
This is Johnny Haggard, as Lucas said 4 to 5 times already.
I love Johnny. Listen, Johnny.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
What's up, everybody? My name is John Haggard, a.k.a. Johnny, a.k.a. JohnnyMedia, a.k.a.
Deadpool?
Maybe not. That's
Dude,
Luke.
your skin looks too good to be
Luke.
Deadpool. Like he's like had problems. So
He looks like an avocado.
he looks like an avocado.
We're not gonna finish that family show here.
This is like a comedian show.
We can call this Once Upon a Deadpool. It's rated PG-13. That's typically the way we roll with this.
We better stop talking about Deadpool. I only brought it up because I saw Deadpool behind you. And flamingos.
Moms and dads, do not take your kids to see Deadpool when it comes in theaters, because Deadpool is not a kid-friendly movie. You're going to find yourself within the first minute and a half of leaving because it's not angelic.
Speaking of movies, let's talk about some wedding movies. Or nobody calls them wedding movies.
I saw what you did there. That was a great segue.
Woohoo!
They made me want to go to the gym and try to get a pump in.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah. Okay, so Johnny, what do you do and why do you do what you do?
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to say you should never do a podcast with flamingos behind you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
now we have flowers behind you, so
we're unique. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes Noble Photo and JohnnyMedia is because we do things differently. You know what I'm saying?
You do things differently.
That's right. That's how we do it.
Stop that. Stop the baby shark.
We just thought we would give you guys something to look at in case you got bored with all of our talking.
Yeah. This TV we paid way too much money for.
If you're actually listening, you can't see anything. So, what are we talking about?
Got tired of my ugliness, so you can look at some beautiful flamingos.
I'm extremely ugly. Yeah. So anyway, we. I'm trying to MC this thing.
Let's get down to business.
Yeah. So Brienne's got the brass tacks, and she's about to put the brass knuckles on if I don't be quiet. So it's time for Brienne to talk. All you guys are here to hear Brienne speak. So speak, Brienne. Speak. Speak kindly.
Thought that's why we had a guest speaker here.
Okay.
So Johnny, as Lucas asked you, and then you got interrupted.
Sorry.
What do you do?
Well, I film, whether if it's weddings or, it could be graduations, it could be special events, birthdays, whatever. I hadn't really had any birthdays to film yet, but
haunted hospital.
Haunted hospital.
That's what I want to talk about.
That's actually how I got into this gig. The owner of Leicester Haunted Hospital got in touch with me one time and asked me to do some videos for him. And
awesome.
So, I was already looking into getting into the game already, but this just kind of pulled me on in. I guess made me make that leap, And so I went and bought the gear and everything I needed. Started out, at a low level. Of course, you can't always start out at the high level. So I started out with, mediocre. I wouldn't say mediocre. It was a fairly good camera, crop sensor camera, and
80D.
Now the lens,
Sorry,
the lens were mediocre.
Yeah.
You can't start out with the red ring lens.
The red ring. You can't start off with the best, can you?
It's just hard.
It's hard. It's like a Benjamin plus 10.
I bought all the equipment, started doing videos for them, and started getting my work shown. And then I had one of my friends, she was getting married, and so she sprung the question onto me one day. She's like, "Hey, how do you feel about filming my wedding?" And I'm like,
bum bum bum.
What in the world?
Just put me on the spot. And I'm like, actually, yeah. So, and I'm like, really? Are you sure?
It's like a shot to the gut, isn't it?
Because I was like, that's your wedding. I was like, that's a big day.
Terrible
that's something that you do not want to have messed up. Like, you know, it can only be shot one time, and that's it. There's no retakes. You know, well, I mean, there can be certain retakes, but yeah, normally there's no retakes, no redos, no hey, let's back up. I missed that aisle shot. Let's back up and do it again. No.
Yeah, like walk down the aisle again with your dad because I missed the shot.
You know, that first kiss, I missed it.
Hey, time out. We got to stop because I didn't get the kiss. I didn't get the first kiss. So guys, let's reenact this moment. That's not cool.
It's not.
But I would actually do it if I missed it because I'm that big of a crazy person. No, I wouldn't do it.
And Johnny, it sounds like you're pretty busy this upcoming year for someone that's not been in the business very long.
Dude, slaying the game is what he's doing. Owning it.
So yeah, I just, you know, she's like, yeah, you're fine. Let's go ahead and do it. You know, she's like, I don't want anything special. I just want it filmed. You know, it don't have to be grand. So I was like, okay. So I done her video, and she loved it. And then my cousin asked me about doing theirs after I did hers. I did theirs, and then so yeah, it was from there. They just blew up, and the more I do, the more business I get, and it's going well.
Well, awesome.
I've got so far as of right now, I got 15 scheduled for this year.
Oh wow.
So I'm trying to figure out exactly where my cutoff mark is going to be, you know, because I don't want to get too
because you work
overloaded.
Another job, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Got a full-time job. I got a lot going on.
It's nice to have a life outside of the jobs too.
Exactly. Not have every one of your weekends piled up with work.
Amen. We're there. We are there.
So yeah, you know, I'm trying to figure out, you know, do I go above 15? Do I try to go for 20, or do I just go for 25 or 30, or go as far as I can go? I don't know, you know, and
keep yourself healthy. That's all I can say.
But yeah, you know, when I started doing this, I didn't really expect to think, or I didn't think I was actually going to go as far as I did with it. I just figured, hey, you know, I'd do my friend's wedding, do my cousin's wedding, you know, maybe do a few others, and that's all I kind of really expected to do. And then, yeah, like I said, I went from there, and I'm on board with it.
And we've actually been fortunate enough to shoot with Johnny. We actually brought him Along on a wedding that we did in Georgia, I think it was.
Yep.
And so
Flintstone,
Georgia. That's right. It's like, why can't I think of the name? And it's such an unusual name, so I should have remembered it. But yeah, so you'll see some of his work throughout this video. I think Luke will cut in some, spice some in. I think our clients were very pleased with that, and so that was our first time really getting to work as a team with Johnny, and we were very, very pleased. So
it was a good day.
Yeah,
it was very hot, but it was a good day.
Oh my goodness, it was a hot day.
That's some like Georgia heat right there.
That's right. So Johnny, just a few things that I'm going to kind of address, I guess, in this video, since one of the main goals with this series is everything a bride and groom should know going into their wedding. Questions to ask, things to be aware of, and so we brought you in as a videographer to kind of talk about some of the things that every bride and groom should know going into their day. So I think one of the biggest things that every bride and groom is going to have at the top of the list is, what's this going to cost me?
Right.
And I think just like when we had talked about our photography, you're going to have price points in your budget, your middle grade, and your high end.
Right.
And so I think one of the important things is for them to know, you know, what things are going to cost for them. And just like we said with our photography, you can find somebody in each price point that does awesome work. You just have to know what you want, where you want to go, how much you want to spend, and the like. And
the 3 tiers, was that right?
Yeah, we talked about the 3 tiers.
Yep.
And then one of the other things that I think is important is knowing package inclusion. And for a typical kind of day for you, what do you include like in a package?
Well, honestly, there again, I mean, I haven't really been, I've been doing this for 1 year so far. I started out last March, and that was my first wedding that I filmed. And ever since then, it's been just, as of for right now, it's been just basically one single package. Now, I mean, I can offer other packages,
Right.
but I think my prices are so cheap right now that I basically just offer a full day, and I know my prices are like really cheap, and that's why I tell everybody. I tell everybody that I'm like severely undercharging.
I would say inexpensive because cheap makes it sound like you got a cheap project.
You're right.
Product, and you've got awesome. You've got awesome work. Don't cut yourself.
Let me speak for a second. You know,
and you're correct. Yeah, cheap doesn't sound good. That's not a good term. But
we've seen your work, and it is not cheap.
But the thing
very good.
The thing is with your pricing, you know, when you start out doing this, you got to prove to people, you know.
Right.
And you know, some people say, "Oh, you never have to prove yourself to anybody." That's not true.
You got to have something to show them.
Exactly. You have to prove yourself, and in order to prove yourself, you have to start out with lower prices.
Exactly.
Not cheap.
Yeah.
You got to start off on the bottom.
You got to start out with lower prices.
Yeah, on the bottom.
And then just to get that work.
Yeah.
To get that work, and then to get people coming in. And then once everybody realizes how good you really are, then you can start, saying, okay, well, now I need to start up my prices some because now I need to go buy this other gear.
Right.
I need to start pulling maybe this other employee in to help me out, you know.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I probably got sidetracked.
You're okay.
Oh, packages.
Yeah. So what do you include, like in a video for your day?
Right now, basically, I get there and I'll tell them when they send a message asking me about it. I'll basically just tell them, hey, look, this price includes from the time of you getting ready until the end of the reception, and that basically starts from the bride and groom getting prepped, makeup done, getting dressed, bridesmaid shots, stuff of that nature, all the way through the ceremony, and then all the way through to the end of the reception. That's basically what I'm doing right now. Later on, when I start throwing other packages out there, it could be just for a ceremony, or just for a prepping and ceremony, and maybe no reception.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
good deal. So one of the other things that clients should know is how things are delivered, the expected wait time. Like how do you get your videos to your clients, and what is your typical turnaround?
Well, about 2 months, 2.5 months is about when I mean, some of them's been shorter than that. Some of them's only been a month.
Right,
It just all depends on how much I got going on. With my
busy season.
Exactly. You got the busy wedding season, and then on top of that, you got your full-time job aside from that.
Right.
And so, but yeah, anywhere, I'd say 2.5 months at the most. I try not to let it go over any more than that because that's not good. Let's see. How I get them the videos is I will, once I finish the project, and sometimes I even may do like some teaser videos.
Right,
I may do like a 2 or 3 minute teaser clip, post on social media, tag them in it just so they can kind of get excited. It gets them all googly, and they love that. So, I'll do that from time to time. And if I don't do that, sometimes I'll just wait until I get the whole video done, and then I'll post the whole video.
Yeah.
Now, I know my videos are typically longer than other videographers post, and some of mine range anywhere between 10 to 16 minutes long.
Okay.
And that's what they can expect on their DVD. And so what pretty much I post on social media is what they can pretty much expect on the DVD. Also along with scenes of the raw, uncut versions of the dances, the speeches. I'll have different scene selections on the DVD for them.
Excellent.
And you said the magic word, or the magic letters, DVD. That's something that a lot of videographers will not offer anymore. And if you're offering something that's a physical, that you can actually hold in your hands, that's a big deal.
That's right.
A lot of people don't want to do digital completely.
Right.
They want a CD or a DVD of their day.
And so some of the other options are out there, and there's no wrong way to do this. You just need to be aware of what you want and what they offer.
These are different vehicles.
USB, the DVDs.
I do a flash drive.
Flash drives.
I do flash drive to keep in safe storage, to put in a safe or something, in case you got a house fire or whatever.
Yeah.
That way, and DVDs can get damaged if you're not careful with them. So flash drive is always good. So I give them a flash drive. I give them, generally it's like 3 DVDs. That way, so the bride and groom has a copy.
Right.
And both sides of the families have a copy.
Right. There's also external hard drives.
And
then you can do like online file drops. I think we've used online file drops for videos before. I think, right?
I had no idea what we had. We have the ability, but this was like recently. So we just recently started throwing the video option into our option, whatever you call it, our services, our packages, and with our service, we can actually upload the whole video to our Zenfolio webpage, and we typically send our videos separately to the clients, and they can download them. They keep them there. We pay monthly for that to keep it open. We don't have an expiration date. Hey, your video is going to go away on this specific day. We don't do that. We try to leave it open as for an eternity, if you will.
But
go ahead.
I'm sorry, but
No,
I was going back to what I was talking about my length of videos though. When I said that typically mine are longer than other videographers, what I post on social media is typically longer than videographers. Maybe now what the other videographers offer on their copies, their medias or DVDs or flash drives, they may be just as long. But I post a longer video on social media just to do that, just so I can show people, hey, look, this is what you're getting. I don't like to hide anything. I don't like to say, well, you'll get 16 minutes or you'll get 10 to 16 minutes of this, and then they'll be asking like, well, what is it? What is all involved? That's why I like to post that long of a video so they can show it.
So they can see it. Yeah.
I can show it to them. They can see it, and so they'll know exactly what they're getting, And so, if anybody was to ask, well, hey, what do you offer? Then I can either tag them in the video or I can send them a YouTube link. I post my videos on my YouTube page as well. So I can send them a YouTube link so they can review that. But
good deal. So do you provide any of the raw footage if a bride or groom wants raw footage of, they say, hey, can we have everything you took that day? Or do you pretty much limit it to, this is what I've created, this is what you get kind of deal?
I haven't really offered any raw footage, which no one's really even asked about it either.
Yeah. Okay.
But that would definitely be doable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could offer all the raw footage. Yeah. And that's good to have too. Because even though it's just the raw footage most of it's just little small clips of 2 to 3 minute clips. But there again, it's a video. That's a 2 or 3 minute clip to somebody else that might not amount to anything, but to them that's a 2 or 3 minute clip of their day, their wedding day. So
okay, that's just an important question to ask any videographer. If that's something that you want. A lot of people don't.
Typically, if I were to offer that, or if somebody was to request that, what they would need to do is, or I could do it myself, but I would need to buy an external hard drive, or they would need to bring me their external hard drive and put all the footage on that, because these files can get so large. When you record that much, these files can get so large, and putting them on a flash drive would be really tough.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something else that our brides and grooms should be aware of. In addition to edit video, you need to know whether or not you want that raw footage, and if you're willing to pay a little extra, provide what they need for that. And just note that not all videographers out there are going to be willing to give that, because they may feel like that's not a good representation of their work. But it never hurts to ask. You've got people out there that are willing to share.
That is true. That is true.
just making sure I cover all my bases here. We actually talked to a couple today that I guess had watched one of your video clips that they thought was really interesting, where apparently the rings were missing from the ceremony. Was that one of your?
Yes.
And then you caught it all on video, and
That's
it was
right,
just such a
that's
funny moment.
That was something else right there. That was something else.
Mm-hmm.
And see, but that's there again. I mean, I'm sure that's happened before, but
it's moments like that really make your video.
Exactly. I mean, if they hadn't have had that on video, it's like, now they can go back and rewatch that and laugh
See the
about
look
it.
on their faces.
They can, watch it for years to come and laugh about it, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. Another thing that I think our couples should be aware of is how much input they want. All couples are different. Some people will look at you and say, "You're the artist, create your masterpiece." And then you have some that hey, we want this special song. Hey, here's a list of everything we want recorded that day. And I think, and you can speak to this, that when we have those lists of things that they want, sometimes it makes our jobs easier, but it's just important to establish that probably early on.
Yeah. And what I do a lot of times too is when anybody contacts me about doing this, I will tell them that I will contact them sometime before their wedding date and to go over details with them.
Right.
And so we'll start talking about, okay, what all do you want filmed? And a lot of times, some of them are kind of like you said, a lot of times they're like, well, hey, you just do what you need to do. You're the artist.
Right.
You think if you need to film this, you film this. But then others are like, well, we're going to have, like this one particular wedding I filmed with the clog dancing. We met up.
That was a good one.
And, I was going over everything with her, about what she wanted to have filmed. And see, I wouldn't have been prepared for this if she hadn't have told me, but she told me, she's like, look, we're going to have a special father and daughter dance. And so she said, it's going to be a surprise. She said, nobody knows about it. So it started off normal,
right,
as a normal father and daughter dance. And then halfway through it, they cut it off and then went to a clogging dance. But that was good that she brought me that to my attention, because I had it in my head, I was prepared for it. It's just little details like that. And a lot of times I'll go over also with how do they want their, do they want, like the wedding we did in Georgia.
Right.
We took that bride and that groom and we had their voices playing throughout the video from time to time. You remember that?
Noel Harmon.
Yes.
And Andrew Baker. I remember that. That was a good wedding. Yeah, they
and
played it throughout the whole thing.
Right.
It's pretty.
And so we had them talking throughout most of the video.
Yeah.
About how they met and stuff like that. So that's another option.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's just something else you can ask them. I haven't had a lot of people go for that. A lot of people are like, yeah, don't. But some of them have. Some of them do like to go for that. Some of them do like to say, okay, yeah, I'll do a speech and all about how we met. And like the one you were talking about with the rings missing, that particular wedding. Now that wedding, they were both opening up gifts from each other. And they actually had a letter written to each other with the gift. And so I recorded, what the letter said and put that recording with that clip. And so that turned out really great.
Yeah.
So
to that point, I was going to tell you when you were talking about the voiceovers, that kind of brought up one of the things that I was going to mention was to know the type of filming that your videographer does. And, just a quick search will tell you, there's like documentary and cinematic. They've got traditional, and what you were talking about with the voiceover, I think they call that storytelling. So they have like a lot of like voiceovers that, and that can be combined into like cinematic or traditional or something of that nature. Do you have a particular shooting style, or do you just kind of whatever you feel that day, or kind of whatever you discuss with that? Maybe we need to establish for our listeners what those different styles are.
Yeah, there's so many styles of shooting.
So you've got your traditional. which typically they're going to focus on the bigger moments, the ceremony, the reception, probably fewer details, less focus on the behind the scenes footage. We're not seeing as many of those these days, and if we do, it's people that aren't really going to have like a bigger wedding. Cinematic, you're going to see more angles, transitions, filters, overall themes, which is probably more your style, I would guess.
Right, yeah.
And
You want something that's going to pop, bottom line. If you don't have something that's going to pop, you're not going to get the attention of the person. The last thing you want to do in videography is capture something that's going to be, what do they do in the Tinder app? They swipe left or whatever it is. They just keep going. And that's true with so many things in life, and especially videography. You see a video, and if it doesn't go ooh and it grab your attention immediately, then they're gonna go something else. They're not gonna do it. You and I know this is a kind of a whatever. It's kind of a personal feeling, but you've got to capture the attention of the bride. You gotta do something that makes them say, "Hey, look at me! Look what I'm doing," or the groom. I'm so sexist. I'm sorry. I have become so okay. The bride. But in actuality, seriously, it's all about the bride and the bottom.
It's her day.
It's her day. You're the groom. You're marrying her. That's great. Good for you guys.
The groom is just like, hey, let's just get this over with.
Yeah, let's go over, man. I'm tired, man. I don't know.
I'm ready to watch some football.
I want some
ready to
football.
eat.
Man, this girl made me get married and Alabama's playing or Auburn's playing. I'm not getting into that. Okay, but anyways.
Or Tennessee.
I've
had a lot of Tennessee.
Yeah,
weddings.
but the bottom line is, and we can talk all day long about this stuff, but the bottom line is this: if you're not capturing something that makes somebody else that's completely interested in a videography service, then they're going to swipe left. They're going to say no, and that's going to be it. You've got to get something that makes somebody want your business. Bottom line. And if you don't do it, you're forgetful and you're yesterday's news and you have become irrelevant. And being irrelevant in this industry is terrible. It's terrible. Detrimental. It ruins your business. You can sit down and talk about it all day long, but if you're irrelevant, you're not getting any work and you're not going to move forward. You must maintain relevancy, which means always be willing to adapt and to compromise your services. Do whatever you can do to be particularly the kind of person that can get the work done. Right, Brienne?
And to that point, the last style I'm going to mention.
He just stole my mojo on
I
that one.
stole your mojo.
The last style that I was just going to mention is documentary style. Which you probably do some documentary as well, kind of style. And what that is those are going to be the not as polished. They're kind of unstaged, unplanned, more in the moment moments. So,
but you got to figure out what you want.
Right.
And I would say that was more like the Georgia wedding.
Yeah, she was
Noelle,
like, "Go for it, do it.
Yeah.
We trust you."
That was totally not planned.
No, not at all.
We gave her some options. We said, "Hey, look, we asked her, are you doing the traditional vows? Or are you doing your own vows?" And she was like, "No, we're going our own." And so it was like, "Hey, you're doing your own. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Let's have you write them out. Let's have you read them out to us, and we can get you." Reading them out while, and that's where the voice overlays and all come from. Honestly, this is what I love in a wedding video. I love emotion. When I can catch somebody crying, I don't care if they got, they got tears coming out their eyes, mascara, I'm loving it. I'm eating it up.
because it's real. They're human.
Real. That's raw emotion. You cannot fake that.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not staged,
So
is it?
you have that along with, if you want to go with your own vows. It's the wedding we were just talking about a little bit ago with Whitney. Bride's name was Whitney. When she was reading her letter to her husband, soon to be husband, groom, she started tearing up and just started choking up and crying, and after I filmed that part, she asked me, she's like, "I don't know why I just cried. She's like, I've read this over and over, and that's, and
She just put on the spot.
I just told her, I said, "Hey," I said, "I love it." I said, "Give me more of it." Give me more of it.
Right.
That's what I want. And to me, that's what makes it so special. You know,
Because it's not scripted.
it's not scripted.
Exactly.
Being scripted is not attractive. Being human and being what God made you to be and showing, what's that word, Brienne? Showing a little vulnerability. It's beautiful. And that's what people want to see.